A happy day 23 at Bullards State Park. Just leaving Bullards, heading toward the Coquille River, and then into Bandon. Stop at the stores, get on the beach after going through Oldtown, and then back on Beach Loop, and then head south of town and spend the night at my place tonight and tomorrow night. Tomorrow we'll take a zero and then get started again on Tuesday. Get to cross the new river first thing. Yay. But feel pretty good today. Had a crowded, very crowded hiker-biker camp last night. Slept on a slope, didn't sleep very well, but that's all right. I'll sleep better tonight. Beautiful day, no wind. Squirrels and birds everywhere, and the little children are still asleep. But still good. Happy day 23. We're coming up on the Coquille River Bridge, which some say is the most dangerous bridge to cross in all of the coast of Oregon. So sidewalk is not real big and it doesn't really have any guardrails, so you know, probably won't kill you, but about 50 or 60 feet down, got to be careful. Okay, that's an osprey nest perched on those poles up there. Been there for many years. All right, let the fun begin. Maybe 2 feet rail and maybe 18 inches of sidewalk. Maybe. When you get over to the part of the bridge that lifts up to let boats through, then you run into these barriers and then your sidewalk gets cut in half. About 9 inches. Awfully busy day for a Sunday. This is the section of bridge that lifts up and bounces the most when trucks go over it. Not as bad as a suspension bridge, but you can feel it and hear it. Pretty view though. Bandon over there on the south shore. You can see this boat up here that has had better days. Up by the Bandon Marsh. One of the better places to go clamming is down there in town. If you're into that sort of thing. The south end of the Coquille River Bridge. Okay, our 9 inches is expanded into a bike lane. So I think we're good for a little while. Okay, we're going to head down Riverside Drive, which is vastly a more dangerous place to walk than Highway 101. They both will get us to the same place. But we'll go down and see the Bandon Marsh this way. A little bit easier. This noxious weed, gorse, came actually over to Bandon with Lord Bennett back in the 1880s, I believe. He brought it over because he liked it, primarily. I guess they make fences out of it over there in Ireland. Anyway, it's spread all over, as we saw, as far north now as Florence, and a little further south maybe than Port Orford. It said it was responsible for the thing that sits Bandon on the map, and that the city is burned down twice. And both times gorse came into play. Gorse has got a very volatile oil in it, so when it starts catching fire, it really goes off. Well, the welcome to Bandon sign's a little hidden, but this is what you get. Welcome to Bandon, everybody. And slow down, because they will ticket you if you're going more than 25 miles an hour on this road. Prior to 2002, this was kind of a little dirt trail out here to the marsh. And then in 2002, I believe that summer, BLM built this overlook. We'll go out here and have a little look. And all kinds of critters live out here. You can see variety. But we're headed over that way. Can't always get down to the marsh because the tide actually has seemed up to the bottom of the steps, so that's okay. Today we can get out amongst the pickleweed and some of the other marsh plants out here and see Bullards over there to the north and various motels and things to the south, and out here to the mud zone. Can't really go too much farther that way because there's a lot of little hidden streams that come in. These large Monterey cypress, as I mentioned, are the only trees that survived the Bandon fire. They're really not native. I'm not sure where they come from. Coming by the Bandon sewer plant, but several times I've been through here running or walking and had tourists ask me what time the aquarium opens. Years ago when they first printed, Jack first printed these murals, there were whales and sharks and things like that, so people thought this was an aquarium, but it got to be a problem because people would stop and ask, and so they just put birds on it. And it's not an aquarium. It digests all the little micro organisms in our waste. Sunday morning, Catholic Church playing its bells. And the Coquille Bandon Fish Market is open. The flag is not out. Oh, let's see. We'll go get some coffee and come back. It's worth waiting for. Well, we'll see later a couple of sculptures that were made of actual just garbage that was found on the beach. They were made here at Washed Ashore. And this place takes plastics and whatnot and makes them into little critters like that. Stuff like this. So if you can't go to Wilson's Market because they're closed still, we'll go there tomorrow night for dinner. We'll come down to get coffee. Bandon coffee and a bagel, and then go eat lunch. Yay. If you've been paying attention, we've gone by mile marker 260 and 261 and then 274. So it's been a while since I've investigated, but I finally figured out why there's such a gap. When you leave Coos Bay and turn onto Highway 42, you go to Coquille. The old road from Coquille travels along the river that comes back to Bandon, which is now Highway 42S, comes into town. So if you link all of those mile markers together, then that would make that mile 274, because you have to go around about 30 miles to get back to here. And that would make sense. Otherwise, going from 261 to 274 doesn't make a ton of sense at all. We'll head over here to the arch. Used to be part of the old arch in Old Town before the fire, and a few things that didn't burn. From this vantage point on September 26, 1936, you could hear the roar and feel the crushing heat of the flames as they swept across the city of Bandon. Lives were lost and 484 buildings burned to the ground. There were survivors, and they stayed. There were survivors. They survived the catastrophe, and they chose to stay and rebuild. It is their spirit and courageous determination. We dedicate this marker with our gratitude and respect. Without the valiant effort of those few, the many of us who now enjoy the bounty, abandoned by the sea, would not be living in this favored city today. Dedicated September 14, 1986, about 2 weeks after I moved to Bandon. So Oldtown Bandon consists of the boat basin and this street of shops down here. We just had coffee at the famous Bandon Coffee, but we also have Bandon Card and Gift and Sweets and Treats, which has been there, my favorite candy store, and an art store and a bookstore and a bakery up here, and just about anything, everything survived COVID, but the Minute Cafe didn't. And so hopefully they'll get somebody in there soon. And at the end of the town we have the cobbler's bench if you need any work done on your shoes. But this old building here survived the fire. The Masonic Temple is about the only thing that did. As we come into the port area, it's good to remember that back in 1909, before the first fire, Bandon used to be one of the major ports on the Pacific coast. San Francisco folks would travel to Bandon, and then from here they would go up to Portland. And the fire kind of ended a lot of that. I'm sure a gasoline engine ends a lot of that too, but we'll get over here to, besides Bandon Fish and Chips, I'll head down that way towards the lighthouse and you'll see the other great feature of Bandon, which are its beaches. Most of these sculptures and things out of here are made out of myrtle wood. Very highly sought after wood around here. Stay like a nice day for grabbing off the dock. Nice place to get in when it's cold and windy down here in the winter. Man, I've forgotten how good that was. Time for a nap? No, I better get going. I'm not going to ever leave. Well, this large model of a rockfish is an example of plastic that's been repurposed for other uses. See lots of things here. The big cut head used to make this guy's whole body. Okay, we've turned down Jetty Road. lighthouse from there, and the south jetty up here, the mouth of the Coquille River. The area up here where Pacific View Care Center is seems to have a lot of gigantic rocks, not by choice or landscaping, but this was the original site of Mother Rock, or Tupper Rock, which was a sacred area to the local people. And when the Army Corps of Engineers came in to build the jetty, they found this nice source of rock to build the jetty with. Left a few big pieces around here, but I'll show you what they did with the rest of it. Sometimes when you're on foot down here, there's about 20 kind of ornery geese that like to let you know you're in their territory, so we'll be on the lookout for them. They tend to chase people and just be very unpleasant. Haven't seen them for a while though. So 11 miles south of that wall of rock right there is the next foreseeable camping spot, a primitive campsite. 10 miles down from that rock is a major river crossing of New River. Do that on low tide. But there's two new rivers. Where it should be is about 7 miles down from that wall of rock. And it's not too bad, but make sure you're ready for the big one. You might recognize these cement barriers when they fixed the McCulloch Bridge about 10 or 12, well, maybe 14 years ago. The old pieces they sold to people. And these people, I guess, bought them and put them in their yard. Nice little ornamental way to say thanks to Connie McCulloch. Some more rhubarb. Welcome to Bandon Beach. Tide's a bit up. Let's see how far we can get down here. Black rock out here going over towards Table Rock, home to a lot of shorebirds. You can actually get out too. Really low tide. It's a cool tide pools around it. All this little bits of foam at certain times of the year kind of looks like the top of a root beer float. I'm told they are billions upon billions of diatoms, little phytoplankton that reproduce. Very lightweight stuff. Their shells are actually made out of silica, like glass, kind of like a petri dish. They're very pretty under the microscope. Some people have actually used to do a lot of artwork with them. But it kind of looks like foam here. And earlier, several beaches ago, we saw kind of a green goo, which is probably a mix of this and a lot of green algae that were doing their thing out in the water. That is Table Rock, flat top out there. If the tide was going out, I might try it, but way down there is a little notch, and on the other side of that, when you get onto the other beach, there's usually a ton of logs that are built up by all these high tides. Not that fun to go over. So we're going to go up here and go around a little bit. Alright, Bandon Beach. Still pretty. Little connector trail to get us off the Table Rock stairway over to Coquille Point and Elephant Rock. Coming up here. You might be able to see why they call it Elephant Rock today. This fine rock up there is Elephant Rock. You'll see water coming in between this trunk here in a minute. There, that was good. Put this trunk down the middle, and as we walk down here, we see Oscar down there. I will apologize to Oscar. I don't know what I'm thinking about Cosmo. Cosmo's made out of offensive stuff. By the washed ashore people. See all the little bits of shoes and a hiking stick or handle or something there. Soles of shoes. Bits of foam for this foam up there. Use of recycled material if you're not going to throw it away. Make some of that abandoned. Couple rocks out there next to the face rock. Small cat kittens. Better view of seal rock. Back down to the beach here at Face Rock Viewpoint. Face Rock's kind of shrouded by fog right now, so see if we can see anything when we get down here. And we'll head south down to China Creek. I think Johnson Creek is dried up for the year. I might have cleared that unless we see it way down here, but this little rock formation over here they call Devil's Kitchen, probably because there's a place out of the wind that's just covered with rocks. Well, this little body of water is new. Let's see, I think I'm going to take the high road. Let's see, we got a log to cross down there. We're going to have to cross back up to the sign over there. And there's a marker here and a marker up on top, a bunch of gorse. Who knows where that goes? Let's say we head for the sign. Big wide log would be wrong. Clip the belt. Over China Creek one more time. This one's pretty solid. Yep, good. Get up here, get the sand out of the shoes. Get a snack. Okay, Birdie's Market is open, and I've got ice cream and some Pepsi, so I'm good for an hour. That's all it takes. Well, I'm going to sign off here for this middle third. This is where we started 10 days ago, and then I took the bus up to Coos Bay to meet with Frank and Pete, who took me to Newport, and walked south and screwed up a little bit and past Seal Rock and all the way to Waldport, and then from Waldport down to Yachats through Cape Perpetua,
and up and over the Cedar Head into Florence, and then from Florence, long way down into Gardner and Reedsport and Winchester Bay, and from Winchester Bay down the beach to North Bend. From North Bend into Coos Bay to Sunset Bay to Bullards State Park, where we were at last night, and then 13 miles south of Bandon now, but time to go. Nancy's got lasagna for dinner, and I got to get some French bread going and maybe another bottle of wine. So tomorrow's the day off. We'll see what happens. Thanks for coming with us. Thanks for watching. If you like it, click the like button. See you soon.